tracked vehicle challenge, you can see that I took my tracks and I ended up going all the way around and doing the ends, and then I just copied, and now I'm starting to make my cool tracked vehicle. For my design, I want some wheels on the inside of these tracks, so I'm going to hit W to set my work plane so that it's flat with one of the tracks, drop a cylinder on there, and then I love this shift trick where I can shrink them down and set them in. Once I've got that lined up, I'm going to shut off my work plane, and then I'm going to use the arrow keys to nudge and tweak and get him into place so that he's the exact way that I want. I'm actually happy with these touching inside because I do want them to be solid enough so that it stays together when I print it. I'm going to stick my little cylinders inside by a half a millimeter on each side so that it has a nice cool look as well. Once again, using those arrow keys to nudge them, and then when I'm happy, I'm going to do the same thing for both pieces. Alright, so I've drawn all four of these little fellas in here, and I'm squeezing in a little one, and sometimes I find it hard to see the measurements, so dragging out this ruler lets me adjust him exactly the way I want without me having to try and grab handles when they're all stuck inside my cool shape. Once I've got them where we want, I can nudge them. I don't need them touching each other, but I do want them touching some part of the track so that they stay together. To make them look a little cooler, I'm going to add a cylinder inside, so I'm going to hit W and set the workplace. I'm going to grab a handle and hold down Shift and shrink these down. I remember seeing that they were 7.25, so I'm going to go 5.25, and then I'm going to change the color just so it looks nicer as I'm building. And if I click the nifty little Align tool, I can center them first. I'm going to raise this all the way up to the top, and then once I got it to the top, then I can do the center, and I've already got it aligned that way. And then I want to sink it in. I don't want to align it entirely. So I'm going to go back to my grid of 1, and I'm going to sink it in 2 millimeters. 1, 2. Got them both selected, so I've got to do Control Z. Now I'm going to grab just that one and sink it in 2 millimeters. Once I've got that done, I'm going to duplicate and put it in the rest of them and turn it into a hole. For the last one, I'm going to get even smarter and do Control C and Control V so I've got a copy of it. And then, since I can see it's 4.75, I'm going to shrink it down. And I'm just going to guesstimate it because this is fun. And then I'm going to pull it out so that I can sink it in 2 millimeters like I did with the other. 1, 2. And with it sunk in 2 millimeters, I'm going to make it a hole, and I am going to align those using the awesome Align tool. And I'm just going to delete this, and I'm going to group the middle so that I can keep my wheels a different color, just because I find it aesthetically pleasing. So there, I'm going to group it. Now it cuts those in nice, and I can pick any color I want, and it still looks pretty cool. But then I'm going to go to the next part, and I'm going to group it. No, I'm not going to group it. I'm going to duplicate it with Control C and Control V, and I'm going to do that sweet mirror tool. Click, click, and I want to mirror it this way so that those are on the other side. And now I'm going to just move it over because I want my base to be 3 centimeters. Use the Align tool to line those up, and I'm good to go. Let's see where your projects end up. Let's see who's got the first one done. Make sure you follow us at HL Mod Tech on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter, and then also check out our awesome channel at HL Mod Tech on YouTube. Happy building!